around, like you
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't care, right? Like I kind of want to stream, but I don't know how I can stream my matches. Like I don't know
What
how
is
to
it
do
on?
it on the Switch. I'm on the Switch.
Um, you would need a capture card. You would need something like this. An Elgato has a HDMI out on one side and HDMI out on the other, plus USB C. Your Switch plugs into this. This plugs into computer. Computer records your screen. And your recorded screen, you just stream it on Twitch or whatever you want. I don't know if the Nintendo Switch has a built-in streaming platform. I know consoles like Xbox and PlayStation do. You just hit the
Yeah,
share button and it goes live.
I have it
But
automatic on my computer. Windows 10, just do Control or Windows G, and it automatically starts
for for your
screen capture for screen capture.
okay, yeah. Oh my gosh, man. So, how are you?
It's good.
You seem
Did
down.
you? No, I'm good.
Man, it's been a weird couple of days, right? So it's
Oh
it,
no, for sure.
it's been there's been
Yeah, I
some
realized I didn't drink any water today. Like I had poutine for the third time because that's what we had yesterday for dinner.
fucking
So
hell.
Jen like mixed it with put it in a casserole dish and threw some eggs in there, and that's what I had for breakfast and lunch, and then now for dinner, I had more poutine and I couldn't take it. It was too salty, and
Oh, hello.
I'm like, I don't feel good. And she's like, "Did you drink the water today?" And I'm like, "No." You hear me?
Yeah, it froze and then it like sped through your conversation. And I think now we caught up.
But that happened to me with you before.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything, but because of whatnot. Are you? I'm waiting for
Oh,
your
it,
stream. So
it, it should be out. We're live.
oh, there you go. Okay, yeah, I gotta refresh the page all the time. There we go. There we are.
Now, did the description change or did it not change? Because I changed it.
Me and Joey2Wolves checked out the Flash movie. Yeah, it's good.
Good. Good. That thing is fucking
Hmm.
finicky, man, and it's annoying. It's really annoying that I'll change it, and then it'll change on Twitch, but it won't change on YouTube, but it'll change on Facebook. And then the next time it'll change on Facebook, but it won't change on YouTube. And it's like, what's the point?
Eh,
What's the fucking point?
there we go.
I'm
Okay.
gonna go to the
And,
multi-stream chat so I can watch no one talking to us. It's nice. So,
um,
The Flash, Ezra Miller, Michael Keaton, Ezra Miller again, and dear God, I should know her name, Carla something.
whatever. The hottie that played Superwoman,
Yeah,
Supergirl, whatever.
that one. And Jason Momoa.
Well,
So,
whatever.
hey, his scene was vital, man. Set up the universe. So we checked out The Flash. Actually, you checked out The Flash, and
Yeah.
you were so like you were so touched by it that you called me immediately like you have to watch this. You have to watch this right now. We need to talk about it. So the very next day,
I, I, I really enjoyed it. Well, the middle part. I really enjoyed the middle part of the movie.
okay,
Everything else was garbage. The beginning was garbage and the end was garbage. But the middle part, as soon as he jumps into, it took a while too to chew on it a little bit, but as soon as he flashed back in his flashbacking ways, everything just became a movie. But everything in the beginning was just utter garbage.
yeah, no, well, you see, that's fair. I'm happy you conceded that, and I need to be able to concede something too. That there must have been something that I enjoyed about this movie because I'm on the side of I did not like this movie at all, and I understand why it did not make any money at all. I get it. Um, and to be fair, a big part of that reason is because of all the controversies with Ezra Miller. People just didn't want to go see the movie because of that, probably, or the negative press.
And I didn't even know any of that until you mentioned it.
There you go. So unfortunately, I think that had an impact on it, but I still feel like the buzz around the movie just wasn't there. It didn't exist. People weren't saying, "Oh, you got to see this," until you said it to me. So
I
okay,
don't care what people think about movies. I gotta watch them and make my own decision. So even if people said it sucked, I was just more like, this movie's out already, and I can watch it for free. This is weird. I mean, I don't even have to rent it. I thought this was like, I'd take a year or two, and then I watched it, and then I understood why without even knowing anything about Ezra Miller
hmm
or whatnot. So
So, I do have 4 points as to why this movie is uh, on my do not recommend list. um, I don't know if you have the same on your end, and I don't know how you want to do this. If you want to take turns, or if you want to just ramble off the list, then you
I'll
ramble.
just rebuttal. I'll just rebuttal because my thing is this movie's a 6 on 10
Hmm. I,
overall,
I'm leaning
but
towards
this
it being a 4.
no, it's a 6 on 10 because of just of the our generation. So anybody who I think is um well, I mean, if you grew up on it, right? I was really young. I don't know how old you were when the Tim Burton series of Batman and Batman
Oh, I
Returns.
grew up with them. I watched them.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So anything after Batman Returns, I think was just utter garbage, and we can talk about that later. But
Wait, hold. All right, fine. All right.
but you know, in that Tim Burton series, everything after that, then I enjoyed the Christian Bale stuff actually. But anyways,
Okay.
um,
That,
right now we're
that's what I was
focusing
curious
on
about.
Michael Keaton, and I love the fact that he came back. And anyways, but go on your points, and we'll. So yeah, the 6 on 10 is the six part. The 60% of the movie that's actually good is really good, and I
Okay.
think people my age will enjoy it. Or people who enjoyed the original Batman series should watch this movie just for that. Perfect. And if you like the
Uh,
Flash, I mean, I enjoy the Flash too. So at certain points, it made sense.
what I thought was cool about the movie was it showcased his abilities very well, which the TV show in its own did very well. You know,
Hmm.
like the phasing through materials, being able to walk through walls and stuff. 'Cause I actually watched the movie with my wife, and she was like, "You just walk through a fucking wall," and then yeah, I explained how he did it, and then later on in the movie, they actually break it down and show you how he separates through the molecules and goes through the wall.
Hmm.
Things like that are always a lot of fun to see, you know, on screen for the fans. I mean, like it's like, oh yes, there's the lore, there's our guy. You know what I mean? Um,
Exactly. But see, that's where the movie did really well, where they didn't have to baby you through it.
mhm.
You know the Flash can phase. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, of course the Flash can phase. But everything else, like ramming his mother in our face with that horrible accent,
Oh God.
and it was like I don't know, like all that weirdness was like okay, you could have done it, but like, was he always Hispanic or Italian? What was she? I was having a hard time figuring it out.
I think she was Hispanic
Not
of some
Italian.
sorts.
Yeah, I think she was Hispanic because there were certain words she was saying, but how she was doing it, it was like, oh, you got to get the pasta sauce and whatever. And I'm like, Italian? Are they? Are they not sure? Like they don't want to.
Because when she was saying it, she's like, I need tomatoes for the pasta sauce and to boil the noodles or whatever. I was like, okay, she's Italian. But then when she started singing in Latin, like Latino music, I was like, wait, what?
Well, that's it. I'm like,
I was like, is this?
okay,
Are you putting
whatever.
salsa on your noodles? Anyways, and it's
You
like-
couldn't have made a traditional Spanish dish. No, you had to make spaghetti. Like it was. It was.
so
Identity crisis.
my number one reason why I wouldn't recommend this movie was because of the main actor. Ezra Miller, not be fuck the controversy. I don't give a fuck. I want to know how his performance was in the movie. I did not like his performance at all, which is
Mhm.
strange because when I saw him in the Justice League and all that stuff, when they introduced the Flash, um, I thought his character was funny. He was like the comedic relief for that group, and he jived really well with them. But when we got him on his own, I didn't I didn't like his character at all. There is an arc here where he has to teach and become like a sort of a mentor to himself, but my main issue with him is that I think now that he's the leading actor, he sucks as an actor. I just thought that the way he was delivering his lines and the way that he was acting. I don't know if he was directed that way, honestly. And I've never seen Ezra Miller do anything else. So I'm basing my entire Ezra Miller acting skills on this movie. And if that's what I have to do, which is the situation, in my opinion, he's not a good actor.
Okay, I have to agree with you with that, and then, but I'm gonna fall on the side of the direction because, like you said, we saw him really well in Justice League. I agree with you. In Justice League, he was funny. So when they said he was coming out with his own movie, I too, when I saw the movie, I'm like, is this the same Flash? This can't be the same Flash. He's different. So I'm glad you said that because I'm like, okay, I wasn't crazy. Like he did that, but he became that Flash in the middle of the movie. he was trying too hard. He was overacting. He was oversaturated.
Yeah.
Being an introvert and I can't really talk to you. You're not like even Clark Kent, who is the nerdy introvert and whatever and clumsy and like Clark Kent can never be Superman. Look how clumsy he is. Like even he knew his limits. It's almost like I was thinking about the movie, and it's funny. Like, and I swear to God, these phones are attached to our brains with the nano and all that shit that's in our cells, the nano brains. I was literally thinking about the scene of Tropic Thunder when not Hugh Grant, Iron Man, what's his name?
Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Jr. is telling Ben Stiller, "You went full retard.
Yeah.
You never go full retard."
Yeah.
And that's what it made me think of. And I feel like telling Ezra Miller, "You went full introvert. You went full nerd and full like, millennial. Like you went too much. Just pull it back just a little bit, And so that was direction for sure. So, 100%. The acting and the scripting was horrible in the beginning. I think
The scripting was horrible and over. Well, that's going to be my next point. But did you have anything else you wanted to add for?
No, I agree with you with that, except
Okay.
for the middle part, because there's like a complete 180.
But there is when he even says it in the movie that when he meets the younger version of himself, he's like, "Wow, you are fucking obnoxious, and I don't like you." Which
No, that I almost turned off the movie at that point because I was like, I can't have you, this introvert that I cannot relate with because I can't stand it, maybe because of my age and whatever, those types of people. And then I see him, and they made him even more ridiculous. But then, as I was seeing his ridiculous self, I was like believing it. I'm like, okay, I can actually see you like that. And then when I went to go turn back to Ezra to be like, how are you responding to this? He was actually doing a good job of responding to it, and that's when I started like paying attention to the movie.
I have to admit, when he started to teach himself, the younger version of himself,
Hmm.
how things are done and whatnot, it was nice to see the mentor side of it, to
Yeah,
see him
yeah,
handling himself as a younger version.
yeah,
And that's when you got glimpses of the Flash that we got in
yeah,
Justice League. But to me, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough,
yeah.
and it fell flat for me, unfortunately. And the thing is that it's very hard for me to recommend a movie or someone like, hey, you gotta watch this movie, but the main actor's shit. Like that's really hard for me to tell somebody that. Um,
My thing with that, I mean, I don't know if we're gonna go into spoilers or whatever, but you have to watch it for Batman.
yeah.
That's my point. That's
Well,
my put
like
my
a,
foot down
like I
for Michael
said,
Keaton.
I gave it a 4 out of 10. Okay,
It's not
that
a 4 out of
four,
10.
that four, is coming just from him, strictly from Michael Keaton, and unfortunately, it's not enough to save the movie for me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend. I would recommend somebody watch someone chop up all the scenes of Michael Keaton's Batman and put it in there, sure, but do not. You don't need to waste your time watching the movie. And there's another reason for that I'll get into later. But the second thing I want to talk about was the storyline. That's another reason why for me it's very hard for me to recommend this movie for folks, is because number one, the way that the screenplay was written, a lot of arcs, a lot of arcs don't play out well, and a lot of things are just omitted. There's a lot of plot holes, in my opinion, in this movie. Too many for me. And I'm a picky guy when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like I'll say like in John Wick when he's in the Continental and his friend is looking at him through a sniper scope and he shoots the pillow to warn John Wick that there's a woman in the room with him. And then he rolls off the bed and he sees the woman and he rolls back to the other side. But when he rolls back to the other side, you don't see the gunshot in the pillow anymore. Like I'm the guy that notices shit like that. But
Yeah.
that's not the problem with this movie. For me, the problem with this movie is like I told you, Barry Allen had this friend from college who's now a reporter, and she's here to find out, what's going on with your dad, his appeals coming up, and so on and so forth. And then Barry Allen, like, she has no idea who he is. She doesn't know he's the Flash, so she goes up into his apartment, and then he starts talking about time travel and doing all this crazy shit, and she's like, "What are you talking about?" And he just walks out. And then at the end of the movie, he walks back into a note saying, "Hey, I had a good time. I want to do it again." Like, what the fuck? That's such shit writing. Like, what human in their right mind would do something like that? You know what I mean? It's like, okay, this person is clearly an introvert. His dad's in jail. He's talking about time travel. I might pull back. So,
Well, to me, it made sense because how Iris West was portraying herself was this like little snooty whatever, and I guess she is kind of like that, but at the same time, I don't know. I didn't fall for her character at all. We didn't get a glimpse of any greatness of Iris West, of like,
No.
her coming in. She was very in the same realm of like where Barry Allen was, and it's like, why would you even be attracted to somebody who is as like low self esteem as Ezra was putting it, as Barry Allen would be in that life? Like, you're this headstrong reporter and whatever. Wouldn't you want a man who's got some balls? Barry Allen is someone who doesn't have balls.
Fuck that. You're supposed to be this headstrong reporter, and someone starts talking about time travel and time distillation and multiple universes, and you don't ask a question? What the fuck? Anyways, like the screenplay for this movie for me was just
I know.
not good. It was really bad. And like I gave you examples of it in the past. Like for instance, Barry walks into his apartment and there's a letter on the floor that says confidential on it. It's like, who the fuck puts a confidential letter on the floor with a big stamp on it that says confidential? Someone's gonna steal that. Number one.
Mhm.
Number two, when he gets inside and opens it, it's from fucking Batman. Like the world's greatest detective left a confidential file on the fucking floor. I was like, that's a dumb scene to happen right there. And then the other thing that happened was with Supergirl when she flies into the Batcave and then just fucking picks up Barry Allen, our Barry Allen, and takes him to the sky, electrocutes him, and brings him back. And she doesn't really ask why she's doing this. She wasn't there when they explained.
She wasn't, but she's been around and she's like watching them because she was curious, right? I'll let that one slide because she was still like, I have no friends in this world. I got saved by these unknowns,
Mm-hmm,
and they were looking for somebody else, yet they still saved me.
mm-hmm.
So this is my only chance of friends. So I'm gonna kind of fly around, not stay too close, and kind of pay attention. Remember, she's got super good hearing and all that
Right.
stuff, so she could have been like,
But that's the thing. So we're chalking it up to okay, it happened off screen.
yeah,
Okay. I don't know.
right.
Like
Is the karma of them still saving her that's coming back to save them again?
I agree with that. I agree with that. But show
Because
it.
she knows she has a war coming against Zod,
Mm.
and she needs all the help she can get. So clearly, these guys are superheroes or somewhat
No, no,
intelligent
no.
enough. So
She didn't know she had a war against Zod coming. It was when she saw Zod start killing the soldiers, she realized, wait a second, I came here to join Zod or to talk to him. In fact, she did speak to him before she attacked. You know,
yeah.
she didn't know that she was going to go to war with him until he started murdering people because they didn't
Oh,
find
we
her.
had that conversation. She knew that what he did to the home planet. She knew beforehand. She was already upset with him. She knew that as soon as she saw Zod, she goes, "You guys are done. You guys are finished."
Well,
That's how I.
no, no. When she saw Zod, she said how she was saying things like, "You can't do this again. You can't do this anymore," and this kind of stuff. She's trying to stop him. You know.
Yeah, because that's what he did on the homeworld.
Exactly, exactly. And
She knows he's bad. She knows she has to stop him.
mhm. and
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 that's how I took it.
and the whole thing of, and we're gonna go into spoilers. It's a review, guys. So,
Yeah.
and again, I'm still on the screenplay part of it. Two more things. I hate it when a movie focuses so much on killing off legacy characters. Like they did it with fucking Indiana Jones. They did it with Star Wars. They did it with. They,
Oh, don't ruin it for me. I didn't see Indiana Jones.
they, oh, you don't honestly you don't need to.
Yeah.
But
I don't-
they just keep killing off these legacy characters, and even in the MCU, like in this one, our Superman's dead. He dies, but he dies as a boy. The chosen one is now Supergirl, and obviously the Batman that we grew up with. And this was something I told you, is that the Batman that fought Jack Nicholson, the Batman that fought the Penguin, the Batman that that helped Catwoman, Selena Kyle, and all that stuff. Yeah, he's dead now.
But it was dead for a while. He's never coming back, so they can do that. I think it kind of sucks, but it's still they took that as well. That was then, and this is the new now, and I'm okay with it. I know you're pissed off at it, but it's like, okay, well, that was his arc, and that's it. And it's okay if that, because we never really saw that Superman, right?
Mhm.
Unless you want to go back to like the Reeves day.
Yeah.
But like even then, you
Mhm.
know, I think they did good with it.
No, the only
And
reason I was pissed about it was because I liked Man of Steel. I thought Man of Steel was a good Superman movie. I really liked it. The only thing that pissed me off about it, that they actually did in The Flash,
yeah, but he's not dead. That's what. But he's not dead. Man of Steel is not dead.
well, in this universe's story for story
Yeah, he
purposes.
never got to grow. So God knows what Metropolis is like now.
Yeah.
But most of the crime is done, right? Because that's what Michael Keaton says. as
Yeah.
Batman when they meet him. That's why he's all like just washed up because he's like, I have nothing to do. Because I literally have nothing to do.
But the reason why it bothers me is because if I go back and I decide to watch Batman Returns, okay,
Mhm.
and I'm seeing Batman go through all this shit, and Selena Kyle takes out the taser and sucks face with Christopher Walken,
Yeah,
and like I'm watching all this and I'm having a good time, and he rips off the mask and he's looking at her, and the only thing I think about is you're gonna die. Like this
yeah.
moment, you great, but you're gonna die.
Okay, but if you're gonna look at it that way and look at it that deep, remember they show up, they see him in his mansion, and he's himself. At first, I was like, why are they making him all like ridiculous and like vagabond? But it's like no, that was his character because he already traveled the world
Hmm.
as a millionaire and all his toys, and he loves collecting those suits and all that stuff, and
Hmm.
in Japan, the Japanese armor and all that stuff because he enjoyed battle. And our Batman we grew up with was intelligent. He had parents, but he was still intelligent. He knew how to fight. He had to do it intelligently. He had his struggles, but it
Hmm.
was his internal struggles. And now he's more like, okay, I defeated the Joker, put all the bad guys in jail. He knows nothing of Superman because Superman is dead.
Hmm.
So it was all him and well whoever else you can throw in there.
Hmm.
So he did what he had to do. He can die peaceful, and that's what he knew. He knew he could do it, and he went out with a bang because it was the last final battle with something, and he was okay with it. So I'm okay with it because he had to do all that stuff
Yeah,
without Superman. He had to do
but
all that without Superman.
but
So
the thing
him
is,
dying is good. Kill it off because you ain't gonna go further with Michael Keaton as
no,
Batman.
fair enough. Kill him off, but do it in a way that's more like, hey, we're gonna acknowledge everything that you had accomplished in the past. Like for instance, if you were to watch, okay, let's say someone's going to
It's
watch.
not a movie about him. It's a movie about like that. That's why I enjoyed this movie. That's why I gave it a six because and I get your point. Like
Yeah.
let's like, but we can't glorify it when he's technically an afterthought, and they paid homage to him, and they did such a good job of paying homage to
Oh,
him
they did though.
from
They did.
from the music, from the even his equipment, back to the old days,
The
and the Bat
vehicles,
Cave, the vehicles
and you know
exactly.
what? They gave him the good old fashioned suit where you can't turn your head. They're like, fuck it, he's
Yep.
gonna do this. It's like, yeah. I was like, okay, nice. You
It,
stuck
it's
with your guns.
I feel it's the only like the only I think the animators and the director was like I feel that the driving force of this movie really loved that Batman and wanted to focus solely on that, and that's why they made Ben Affleck look like a real idiot. And by idiot I mean a cartoon fat dummy
Yeah.
because the animation in the beginning of the movie was completely ridiculous and I thought I was watching a cartoon.
I, I
And
was
even the
I
cartoon was
was
bad.
I was
Even the way they made him look
convinced.
was bad.
No, but I was convinced that the Batman that we saw at the beginning of the movie, like riding the motorcycle and everything through Gotham, I was like, that's not Ben Affleck. I actually said that to myself. Like, that's not Ben Affleck. It doesn't sound like him. It doesn't look like him. So they replaced him, and they want us to believe this is Ben Affleck's Batman. But then when I saw Ben Affleck show up in that car in the alley, I was like, "What? Holy fuck! What? It was Ben Affleck? I had no idea."
Ben Affleck was the Penguin. He's just fat and chubby, like meh, 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 like a Cartman. He's like a Cartman Batman. I was just like, this is, and it's like, yeah, it makes sense. This is our
Mm,
Batman today, and thank you for ruining DC because you guys are trying to catch up to Marvel.
yeah.
And it's like you don't have to because Marvel's going to burn themselves in the foot, slow burn, and DC could just do really great things like they did with Wonder Woman and the Justice League, but without the Batman. And what was the other DC movie that I enjoyed? Yeah. Oh,
The DCU doesn't have many good movies in there, unfortunately.
oh, well, it's Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
I mean,
For me, Man of Steel was great. The first Wonder Woman was awesome. And the Justice League was okay. It was okay. Um, and so yeah, to just to wrap up my point on the screenplay, so I didn't like that they killed off legacy characters in that way, because to me it's like if someone tells me, hey, should I watch Game of Thrones, I'll be like, it's a fantastic show, but you're gonna hate the end, and that'll put somebody off. They won't want to watch it. So now it's
you know
like,
what? I actually enjoyed the end the second time around.
Really, you had fun
Yeah,
watching her
actually,
go
to me
Khaleesi.
it made sense. To me, it made sense.
She turns into the
I
Mad
understood what they
Queen.
were going with it. Yeah, I had to watch it a second time. I watched it a second time with my stepdaughter, and I was like, man, this is a good movie. A good movie, well, big
Yeah,
TV
yeah.
series. And then the ending, I was like, no, this actually makes sense again for another movie. For another...
And the last thing I'll say about the screenplay, and I think we both agree on this, is that the whole fucking time travel, fuck up time, change this, change that, did multiple universes. I'm bored of it now. I don't want to see it again. Um, it's, and I don't think any movie's ever done it like really well. The whole time travel aspect. The only one that to me that did it kind of well was Endgame for Avengers, and I mean
Mm,
recently. Um, they did it okay, but still at the time I was asking myself so many questions. Like at the end of that movie, the very last scene is Captain America hugging Peggy, and he finally got his dance. But
yeah.
then when I saw that, the first thought that popped into my mind is, wait, so is he just gonna leave himself frozen out there and just live his life? It's like
Yeah.
that's kind of dirty. But anyways, so screenplay was the second thing that I had an issue with in this movie. And another one that I think we're both going to agree on 100% is the damn CGI. It looked horrible.
There's no excuse. There's no excuse in today's age. I mean, like, how much was Michael Keaton asking to be back in that movie? How much?
I have
Like, did
no
they spend
idea.
everything on the 30 seconds of like Nicolas Cage? Is that what it was? Nicolas Cage came and said, "Yeah, no problem. You want me?
Even
You want
that
to use
scene
a?"
was CGI. All of that was CGI.
Well, of course, but still, it's still the likeness of him, right? So they
Yeah.
had to show, like, they had to show that it was Nicolas Cage. So it wasn't like, oh, maybe they can maybe guess and we can get away with it, and he can't sue us. What did they spend like 10 million just on that? And Nicolas Cage is like, no problem, 10 million. It's like, no, the CGI. I don't know.
It was fucking horrible. And every second of it, from the babies falling out the building to Zod's mask, and we had like, I don't know if you ever noticed, but you know the industry a little bit. You've worked in filmmaking and whatnot. It's called floating head syndrome, where you have a floating head on top of a CGI body, so you can
Yeah,
show your actor off. And I got that. I felt like we got that the entire time. Floating head syndrome, nonstop.
God was the only one that made sense because he was behind the glass. Okay, but no, Batman. There was no excuse. It was too fast. And there's ways of doing stuff that you could have just made it darker. I mean, again,
Yeah.
Batman in that scene was bad because he's fighting crime in the middle of the day. No, no. Like,
You know what? That is an exact comment that I made to my wife when we were watching the movie. I was like, it's strange. I don't recall seeing Batman fight crime in a day a lot. I was like, it looks
yeah,
weird. It's,
like I could understand, and then like whatever we
but
went through this the whole
but you know what CGI was good when Michael Keaton's Batman was fighting
yeah.
because it's a black suit. It's easy, right? I'm guessing
It's
that's
not bad. I'm telling you, there was somebody behind it. We got to go through the credits and figure out who was the director of whatever, or who was really pushing the strings, or who was really producing it. To be like everything goes to Michael Keaton and the finger to everybody else.
oh for
And
real.
he probably told the director, direct him like this because I can't stand this Flash, and that's the reason why they made his mask. Why can't you make Flash? It was annoying in the TV series. They would change his suit up all the time, and when you start messing with the face,
Yeah,
he looked like an idiot. It looks like a football helmet gone wrong. It was just like
yeah,
I can't take you seriously as a superhero if you can't even get the helmet right.
yeah.
Like it's two lines under your eyes because you're wearing just like the suit is supposed to make you not burn up. What's this line gonna do? Nothing. So just make it flat, make it okay, make it like super glossy or whatever, but don't make it thicker than your head and you look like I'm like I don't know. It was just like you look like a big pimple that needs to be popping. It was stupid.
Man. So the CGI from beginning to end was just really bad. Like I told you, my theory behind it is that when they found out that the whole controversy with Ezra Miller, they started to pull back from the movie. They had just canceled Catwoman. DC, they're like, yeah, the movie's filmed. Fuck it, we're not releasing it. That's what they said.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the whole movie was done, filmed, ready to be delivered, and they just pulled. They're like, no, this movie's not going out. It's horrible. You didn't hear
Because
about
it was
that?
horrible? No.
Yeah. The screen testing apparently was so bad. They're like, yeah, we're not releasing it. We're just gonna lose money with it. They'd rather absorb the loss than even try to release the movie. That's how fucked up it was.
Who was Catwoman in this one?
Some black chick, I think. Let me
Oh,
see.
yeah, then never mind. I'm glad I did that.
Oh.
Catwoman's not black. Sorry. Stop changing shit that's not supposed to be changed. This is the comic book. You're supposed to be redoing the comic book. Stop with this inclusivity. It's like,
uh, irredeemable. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. It's not. Wait, is it?
no, I think I remember. Yeah, she was black.
No, no, no.
I think she was hot. She was
It
really hot.
it wasn't Catwoman. It was Batgirl, the movie. My bad. There was a Batgirl movie that was supposed to be released, and
I totally don't care.
as you can see, the headline from the Guardian says it was irredeemable. Bat movie unexpectedly canceled despite being in the final stages of production. Warner Brothers confirmed the film starring Leslie Grace as Barbara Gordon. It was also going to star Michael Keaton and J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon, and Brendan Fraser will never be released. They finished the movie.
Who's Commissioner Gordon in Ben Affleck's Batman?
J.K. Simmons.
Is he black?
No, it's J.K. Simmons, the guy who did Whiplash. Yeah, he's also the angry guy at Spider-Man on the news.
Okay, that's fine, but is he black?
No, he's not black.
So the Commissioner Gordon's niece cannot be black. Batwoman cannot be black.
Oh,
I mean, yes, technically her niece within whatever, but it's like, again, it's like, stop.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But anyways, the point I was trying to make was that that movie was canceled.
Clearly, I'm a racist because you and me are not friends.
No, but I agree with you. The whole fucking race swapping of shit. Did you see the trailer for the new South Park special coming out?
South Park?
Yeah.
No.
If you take a look at it, they just race and gender swapped all their characters, and they didn't say why. They just did it. Like
Wait, what?
they just race and gender swapped all their characters. Like Cartman's a fat black girl now, and
oh yeah,
yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
Okay, yeah, because they're doing it because it's ridiculous. Okay, I was just like,
yeah. I'm gonna give you a second here because you're frozen on.
They
the
don't
screen.
conform to anything, those guys. Same to you.
There you go. All right. So, so what I was saying is that because that movie got canceled and the controversy around Ezra Miller, there was rumors that this movie would be canceled too and it won't be released. So I think they just stopped throwing money at it. I think they had Keaton's stuff done already, because from what I was reading, Keaton was supposed to star in Batgirl. So they probably already had him on payroll. So they just told him, "Hey, let's finish up Keaton's stuff for the Flash movie, and we're not throwing any more money at this movie. Just fucking release it."
Yeah,
that's my opinion. That's what happened with this movie.
Yeah, because it was so polished.
Yeah, Keaton's stuff was really well polished, and it was thought through. Like, people cared about the people who were behind Keaton's Batwing and stuff. Like, it was like a gyroscope. It was spinning within itself. He had like old school handles, and because he built it himself and whatnot. Like it's just, they cared about Keaton's Batman in this movie, which is awesome. So yeah, we said acting. We said screenplay. We say anything else? CGI.
Yeah, it was garbage.
CGI. Yeah.
I really enjoyed the Supergirl.
Yeah, she wasn't as bad as I thought she was going to be, because again, I thought that this was going to be another gender swap situation where they're just like, oh no, we're putting Supergirl, fuck Superman. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it wasn't exactly like that.
No. It was. They needed to do that way they could really end that series and arc, like finish that. Like, Michael Keaton, we're putting it to rest. We want to give you the best we can.
I think they had to do it that way because Brendan Routh.
He went out in a battle, which was great. They both did, and how everything tied in together. And then he goes back into the Time Force, and I thought it was a character from the TV series, because I don't remember the TV series as well, but that purple character that he sees that's kind of catching up with him, I thought that was the time ghosts or whatever. Like, when you start messing and going through the dimensions and getting in the Speed Force, there's these evil demons that come after you because they don't want you there, because they live there and they just don't want you there messing with anything. So I thought it was that. So at the beginning I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then all of a sudden his counterpart, or himself, starts getting those pieces stuck in his hand, and I'm like, that's kind of blatant obvious that's going to be important, and I can't. Yeah. It doesn't click right now until he started, and then the purple, and then I'm like, oh, it's himself, of course, because Barry Allen's always fighting himself. It's like there's always another version of him that he's fighting. That's why I stopped watching the TV series, because every season's bad guy up until a certain point was himself, or another version of
the yellow Doctor Flash, or this Flash, or that Flash.
Yeah, the reverse Flash, or himself, and his father, and blah 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 blah. So it's like, it's cool that you're running so fast and messing into dimensions and stuff like that, but after a while it's like, stop messing with the timeline and everything will be okay. Like, if only I went back and got Iris those flowers she wanted, then she would maybe suck my dick harder. Like, whatever. It's like,
but and the last thing I'll say about this movie, that I disliked it It was the ending. I really disliked the ending of the movie.
No, it's
And
yeah,
I'm not talking about Batman dying and all that stuff. I'm talking
no,
about how he realized that the younger version of himself went too far and got caught up in time travel and wanted to fix things and got obsessed with it, and then turned him into a monster. And he said, "We have to stop. We have to stop. We have to stop." You know. And what was the first thing he did after he corrected that? He went and he fucking changed time again. I was like, well, where was your fucking lesson learned? You know what I mean? It pissed
no.
me off.
When did he change time?
He didn't put the cans back where they were supposed to be. He was supposed to let his mom walk away. Oh no, sorry. He was supposed to put the can back where he got them, but he shifted all the
Oh,
cans to the
right.
top
He
shelf,
moved
so his
them.
father looks up, right? So you still change time so you could benefit from it, you know? And that does one of two things. It's either played off as he fucked up time. That's why George Clooney shows up at the end with bat
Yeah.
nipples, which is most likely the case. Or it's actually okay. You know, it's not that bad of a switch, and this is our universe now. So it was a good thing he made the cans look up because his dad is out of jail, which means you didn't learn your fucking lesson. You learned nothing from
Yeah.
that entire movie.
When we first spoke about this, I didn't understand what you're talking about. I'm like, no, 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 it's fine. That's what I liked about the movie. You can, he realized he got his lesson. You can't get your mom back because clearly you want that, but at least you can get something back and you can get your dad out of jail. And I was like, okay, they went that way. Fine, give him that. Poor kid, you know. And then George Clooney shows up, and I'm like, oh, they're not even letting him have that. But then why? Is this supposed to be a joke? And then the whole ending of the end of credits, because of that's a thing,
Yeah,
a super annoying thing. Um, him talking to Aquaman, not Aquaman, yeah, Aquaman, and saying you're this, you're that, but he's a big drunk. It's like, again, you're still not. I'm going back. I'm agreeing with you. You're still not learning your point. You change time. This guy is not who you think he is. He's not Aquaman anymore.
exactly. He
Unless
just doesn't learn his lesson, and it's fucking annoying. There's no because the character starts to show growth when he's dealing with the younger version of himself, and then the moment he's done dealing with the younger version of himself, immediately starts fucking up again. Like didn't all the lessons out the window. You know what I mean? And I was like, okay, well, why did I watch this fucking movie? There was no point to it, you know. And I get that they were saying like how this was supposed to be like a trilogy. There's supposed to be more, but now we know there's not going to be any more because Ezra Miller's like blacklisted from Hollywood, and the DCEU is probably done now. Um,
their best bet was to get Michael Keaton back, and now they screwed it up because they killed him.
no, their best bet was to fucking make this movie the reset button. You know, we're changing everybody. Like Barry Allen at the end says, the best thing to do is just restart time. You know, and then this way you launch your new Superman movies, you launch your new Batman movies, you launch your new Wonder Woman movies. You know, because I'm pretty sure the DCU is going to be completely abandoned now. So on top of this movie not being good to me, it finishes on a pseudo cliffhanger that I know will not have a conclusion. I can't recommend this movie. Personally.
I'm not recommending this movie. However, I am recommending this movie because it's something out of us, the comic book lovers and the superhero lovers, and specifically the Batman lovers. This is the last time you're going to see Michael Keaton. You will not be disappointed. Watch Michael Keaton.
Yeah,
Watch Michael Keaton, and above all else, watch Michael Keaton.
yeah.
That's it.
This
Like
this movie was a
for me, that's the movie. So I couldn't care about anything else because I don't care about it. Like you're giving it a 4 on 10. Okay, maybe that's what it truly is, but it's not because of Michael Keaton. It's a 6 on 10. It barely passes because Michael Keaton.
and
Did I mention Michael Keaton is in this movie?
what I will say is that if anything, this movie is a perfect fucking trailer for like a Batman 3, Batman's Vengeance by Tim Burton. You know, this would be the perfect trailer for it.
I don't look. Okay, we're done. We're done. Are we done with this?
Oh, I'm
So we
done.
get the commentary. We done with this? Okay. So let's talk about the Tim Burton stuff. I didn't realize that Tim Burton had did the other two movies.
Well, it's not him per se.
Okay, yeah, because it wasn't as dark. They were more cartoony, and the reason why Val Kilmer didn't come back and why George Clooney had this, beat George
You
Clooney.
have to jump in at the last second.
Yeah, and like he was Bruce Wayne was George Clooney because that's just his acting. It's nice and square. And then when he was Batman, he was still George Clooney. So you could have figured out anywhere in that universe that it was Bruce Wayne was Batman because they acted exactly the same. He didn't change his acting for anything.
Hmm.
The reason why Val Kilmer didn't come back, because Val Kilmer started off as a good Batman, um, and that whole thing where he started putting his hands on his hips and stuff, is because every time he was talking, he was giving shit to the director and being like, "Hey, listen, I'm Batman. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. I should be talking with a different voice and whatever." And they're like, "No, no, 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 it's fine. Just stand here, and we want to capture the suit with the balls and the butt and like everything." And so he got really annoyed, and he's like, "Oh, you don't want an actor. You don't want Batman. You want a soap opera." So he was crushed.
Yeah.
He was like, "I really wanted to do this, but you guys just want a soap opera actor." So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stand in the light and just turn around. And he goes, and I did this thing where I just turned around and put my hands on my hips, and I didn't get any. They kept it for the movie. I didn't get any bad direction. He goes, I thought at that point I was totally exaggerating, that they would have said no, don't. Okay, you're acting a little too like it's too froofy or whatever.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, they actually put it in. He goes, that's right. So that's what I did for the whole movie, and those are the shots that they kept. So I just, I couldn't be what I was trying to be. So he goes, when they asked me they actually called me back, which was funny. They called me back for the second one, and I'm like, "Mm, absolutely not." So,
They actually wanted to
so
make a sequel to that.
well, they did with
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer. So George Clooney, the only reason why he got the job is because Val Kilmer said no.
But I thought they were independent. I didn't know. I didn't. I don't remember it being a direct sequel, but maybe it is. Oh my gosh, I didn't know
It
that.
is because then I found out later that it was. I think it was. I don't know if it was directed by Tim Burton, but he produced it somehow. He was
Uh,
some sort of eye on there.
I just looked it up while we were talking. Tim
Yeah,
Burton directed the first two with Michael Keaton. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah. Exactly. Those were his directions, hundred
That's it.
percent.
Yeah.
And what about the other two?
I think it was Schumacher. It was Batman
Okay.
Forever and Batman
Yeah,
Forever, directed by Joel Schumacher.
yeah, but Tim Burton's in there somewhere. He's an advisor of some sort.
Fuck, is he?
If not, then I feel a lot better. But for some reason, I thought he did the third one at least with Poison Ivy. He was part of it somehow. Maybe a special effects director or whatever, just to get the mood. But it was too cartoony. Like every scene in that movie was like just lights in the background, and like the Batmobile was really cool. But other than that, and then the Robin, but like which I thought was good, but it was just too in your face. Like it wasn't as serious. It was more. It was very
So
cartoony.
I don't think Tim Burton was directly related to any of those projects.
No? Okay.
From what I'm reading, he was in an interview. He said how Joel Schumacher's universe is in the Tim Burton universe. That's what he said. He's like, It's in my universe."
Oh, okay, 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 okay. Yeah,
So
that's that because it's four movies. Technically, it's Batman, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, and the last one, which is
Batman
what?
and Robin. So yeah,
There you go. That's what it is. That's
yeah.
how I knew Tim Burton was involved.
You know what?
So
I know we're going a little bit off topic here, but it's funny because you know what I learned? Indiana Jones, the Temple of Doom, the second one, that's a prequel.
what?
I did not know that to Raiders of the Lost Ark. That the storyline of him going to India and everything that happened before him finding the Ark of the Covenant, which is why he never mentions it. And he had friends like Short Round and all that stuff, and
I thought Ark of the Covenant was the first one.
it's the first movie that came out, and I thought it was the first one, but then I learned that Temple of Doom is actually a prequel.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, let me just see if I can look that up.
That
But what about the Dark Knight? Come on, Christopher Nolan's.
I loved it.
Okay, good.
That,
I was
that's
worried.
what.
I thought you were gonna say you hated those two.
No, I think he only did one though.
No, he did all three. He did Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, that yeah, the fire rises. Um,
Fire
I
Rises.
I learned to live in the dark. But no, those were good. I people hated his voice, but where's Rachel? I fucking loved it. Um, there was a lot of I don't know what kind of fucking drugs Gyllenhaal was on. Uh, Katie Holmes as Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then Gyllenhaal came in, and it was like, are we really trying to make her look battered and tired? Like she had rings under her eyes,
She
like more
did.
than I have rings under my eyes, and I'm like, this is a pretty actress. This is a pretty lady. I enjoyed her,
Maggie
and
Gyllenhaal is gorgeous.
yeah, not in Batman.
No, not in Batman.
They made her look old and decrepit, and um I don't know why. That was the only thing that really bothered me, besides a couple loopholes in the story and whatever, blah blah blah. But like, it was good. It was like it made sense and the power and whatever, and they could have done something really good with it because it was dark enough. And I loved Goldberg in being Commissioner Gordon. Oh, Goldberg, what's his name? Um,
Goldberg, Goldman,
Goldman, yeah, Goldman. And then
Gary Oldman, or yeah, sorry,
Gary Oldman. Thank you, Gary Oldman. Because
Goldman.
that, he's another one that there's two of them. Remember when we did that series on underrated actors?
Yeah.
He is one of them, 100%. And there's another one, and he's my top one underrated actor. I mean, maybe not top one because um, he played in The Green Mile.
Tom Hanks.
He was the Billy the Kid.
Oh yeah, and he plays a fucking Hammer Tech in Iron Man 2.
Hammer Tech, Iron Man 2. He played in
God, I wish I knew his name right
uh,
now.
Thanks for All the Fish. What's it called?
Yeah.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And he plays with Kendrick, what's her name there? The Cups.
Yeah.
The Cup lady.
Sam
Her
Rockwell.
first movie. Sam Rockwell, that's it. And he plays in this Hitman movie.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's really good. And I'm like, yo, this guy is like, he doesn't
He's
show up
sharp.
often, but when he does, he boom on the ball, gives us 100% every time. And now he's in Argyle, and I want to watch it just for him. He's in this new movie called Argyle.
Okay.
Anyways,
Let me see if I can see.
um, but the last Batman, the film noir Batman, did you like that one?
Oh yeah, I did actually.
Dude, I don't know why people said it was really bad, and that's why I stayed away from it. I stopped watching because I don't want to waste my time. And then we saw it. I didn't realize that movie's almost 3 hours long. If
Oh
it's not
yeah,
3 hours long.
yeah, it's fucking long. But
And
really,
Jen
people
and I
said it
were
was
like,
bad.
I thought I heard Daniel tell me that like, oh no, it was bad because they dwell too much on his parents again and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, oh okay. And I'm like, I'm not gonna watch another Batman. But we watched it, and I'm like, I read the description. I'm like, I'll give it a chance. And I'm like, this is really good. Like,
Oh, it was
this
a
really.
fantastic Batman, and I think it was a good reboot. If we had to get another franchise.
I just like where it went. It was like if I'm gonna watch Batman's, it's gonna be Batman Returns, and I'm gonna skip all the way to this one.
I it's kind of weird because when I saw it in theaters, and I remember it was positively received, and I'm looking at the ratings right now, 85 by critics, 87 by people, 4 out of 5 on Google. People liked it, so
Maybe I misinterpreted a review or
mhm.
the new Batman or
What I do know about this movie is that the sequel might be in jeopardy, because of Robert Pattinson. He gave the director such a hard time for this movie.
good.
He didn't want to train. He didn't want to bulk up. And his thing was that Batman doesn't need to be a bulky dude. That's what Pattinson said. And the director was getting mad. It's like, yo, could you go, lift a weight, go take a fucking run, do something? It's like, make yourself look athletic. Yeah. And it's funny because there are certain scenes in the movie, like when he gets the letter delivered to his house, and he wants to like build his case on the floor for what's going on in Gotham, and he has to move his dining table out of the way, and it's so fucking difficult for him to move his dining table out of the room. I'm like, I don't know. I think Christian Bale or Michael Keaton would have like flicked that thing away.
Yeah, like
but
I mean,
yeah,
I get it. Like he saw it one way, and I'm not like I'm like okay, fine. Batman is more smart than he is, but he has to be powerful enough to fight these guys. So he's really using his brains
mhm.
fight. And I'm like I guess I mean if that's the only caveat, like because you mentioning that, I do remember looking at him going like he does look a little scrawny for a Batman. Like it doesn't look like he can take a punch. which
That's
is
it.
like that's Batman's shtick, right? He comes back battered and bruised, but because his equipment is protecting him,
Hmm.
like he's really reliant on his equipment always.
Exactly.
And regardless of how buff you are, I mean, a bullet to the chest is a bullet to the chest.
Fuck, you remember
You
the
know,
Tim
more
Burton
muscle
ones
means more pain.
when Keaton would be sitting in front of his bat screen trying to sew himself together? Alfred brought him
Mhm.
some porridge. I was like, "Yo."
Yeah, efficient war.
Yeah. But the Robert Pattinson, the
Supposed to
Batman,
be cool.
as it's called, I thought that was fantastic, and I want to see a sequel. And I remember the scene when they introduced his Batmobile. Oh man, the introduction
Yeah,
to that car was just beautiful.
even the fight, the driving scene was really good.
Oh, it was really well done.
Um,
But I'll say there's some things about the movie that I would change. Like after the driving scene, when the car's upside down and Cobblepot is like looking at the fire, and you see Batman walking
mm,
towards him. That walk was a little too long. I could have I could have done with a shorter walk. What I'm hoping we get one day is we get the actual true sequel to Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy. Because obviously after Heath Ledger died, who was Joker in the Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan had said that how my third script involved the Joker again. Obviously we didn't get that story, you know. And I think that to have that curveball thrown at him, and we got the storyline with Bane. I thought he did a good job still.
no, I would have taken. I mean, I like Tom Hardy; he's good, but I would have taken like look at all these people now, street performers that act and look like um,
Nolan's Bat.
Nolan's and Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they could have easily found someone to replace him because I didn't fucking know it was Keith Ledger. I mean, I knew it was Keith Ledger, but I wasn't seeing Keith Ledger play Joker.
It's
I was watching somebody
Heath.
completely
Heath.
different.
H. Heath.
Yeah, Heath,
Yeah.
whatever. Sorry, Heath Ledger. And then he's dead. He won't know. Um, like it's like you couldn't find somebody like you just someone study all that and just be more that like were you just trying to like respect his thing? Like was it too soon? It's like be true to your story and your script. It's like how
Hmm.
fucking. I mean, I can't speak. I'm not there, and obviously at that point where you're like, okay, this is my movie. What do I do? It's very emotional. You're making decisions and like, what do I
But
do?
I think at the
Fan
same
base,
time they have to ask the
you
family
know,
for permission. It's like, hey, wait, can we continue your dead son's character, or can we use his likeness, or things like that.
that's above and beyond, and that would be something to be like, we're gonna go forward with this, but at the same time, we would really like your blessing, and I'm coming to you, and unless you really really object,
Oh
because
no, no, no. I'm saying like maybe he made that offer.
how does the family have anything to do with his character? They don't own the rights to his character.
No, no, no. But I'm saying like how it's a common thing in Hollywood. Like when they want to use the likeness of someone that's passed away, they go to the family or the estate or whatever and ask for permission. They ask for the blessing, right? And sometimes they don't get it and they still go ahead. But Nolan seems like the kind of guy that if he doesn't get it, he's not going to go ahead. And I'm not saying the family didn't give their blessing. I have no idea. I'm just saying it's a scenario that's possible. Oh, okay. Oh, we're back. Okay.
Yeah, that was weird. That happened a couple times. Um, that sucks. That really
So
sucks because
in the end, the Flash, we both don't recommend, but we absolutely recommend that you watch the Keaton scenes, every single one of them, from him swinging around with a beard like a monkey on his pot rack to him fighting like an anime character in his batsuit. It's all good.
it's really good.
Oh man.
That's the movie. That's really why the only reason I want
So I want to thank everybody who joined the stream. If y'all enjoyed it, please leave a like
to watch
and
the movie.
comment.
Everything.
Oh, and we'll catch you guys next time. Next time, I think we'll try to play a fun game of Google Trends.
Okay,
We'll try to come up with something like a drinking game of some sorts.
sure, that'd be good.
All right. Thanks
Do
for
we really
watching.
need the game to drink?
Yeah. What is your drink of choice?
Gin and soda.
Oh, son of a gun. All right. I don't know what's going on. I'm turning into a whiskey guy. But anyways,
Oh, I like whiskey too, but I won't. I can't drink it all night. I get aggressive.
to the to the next one. Thank you everyone for
Yeah,
joining.
thanks. Thanks, guys.